I started my journey to try and place in a painting competition 10 months ago where I picked up the hobby again and started painting. It's been a 15-year gap since I painted anything, and I was just a casual tabletop kind of painter just to get my army on the field. And so now I'm 10 months in, and I got 2 years and 2 months left before I'm going to try hard to try to win. And I saw that Maniac had a master class course, so here are my thoughts on that course now that I completed it. But first, let me talk a little bit about my limitations. My first limitation is that I don't have his paints, so no matter what I did in my quality, I'm going to get different results than him. My second limitation is due to an accident with my paintbrushes, I was stuck with one GW brush and one cheap brush that were far too large. And I couldn't really get the blending or the details that he pointed out, and that's on me. But it did teach me I just need to go ahead and invest in some high quality brushes. My third limitation is I dropped the model not once, not twice, but 3 times while I was painting it, and I just got tired of cleaning it. So there's bits of old paint on it. With some of my limitations, let me start with my criticism. I got 3. My first is that I thought I was an intermediate painter, but it turns out I'm not. And it's because I don't have a good understanding of things like how to add texture to objects or cloth, and I don't understand when he was feathering, just watching his course. He responded quickly, but I just couldn't tell. To me, it just looked like paint brush and whacking away. I couldn't tell the difference between layering and when he was feathering. But I think there's more of an issue with me. I just don't understand the techniques well enough, and I need to go back and really force myself to learn them. Also, I found what to paint and where to paint the color is a little confusing. Like Duncan's Paint Academy points out, every single piece that you should paint. And that's how I started getting back into it. But with Maniac, I kind of got confused a few often. Like, for example, it happens a few times in this course, but in the antler section, you paint the antlers. But it wasn't until the very end, when I finished it, that I realized that you also paint the back of the bow the same colors. And there's a few other points where that happens, and it seems like he has different models. And I just recommend, if you're going to do this, skip to the end, see where everything is, so you can kind of keep the same color palettes going. The last bit of criticism I have is about the non-metallic metal. I don't understand the environmental effects, what he was saying. To me, non-metallic metal just looks like green metal. I don't understand how it's reflecting the environment. It all just looks like green jade metal to me. His effects look great. It's amazing, but I don't understand how it's reflecting what's around him. So let's move on. Is the class worth it? I think so. I think I improved as a painter. I don't know if I'm going to take another class, at least for a while. I think the program's still kind of young, and Maniac just doesn't understand how clueless and ignorant people like myself really are, and where we lack. And did I improve? Yeah, I think so. I mean, look at the latest model I've done. And here's my test model that I did right before I started this, and a large bust that I have of a pirate. I think the skin on the elf is way better than those 2 models. And looking at my models, the shading isn't really there on the skin, and the limitations of my brush is not so great, but the blending's all right. And Maniac really pointed out where I need to put lighter colors, and the problem with, like my Ranger, I think has more to do with how I layer and how I just create these little islands instead of creating a little bit more of a blend. And my older models, they just look like old men with fake tans, right? They really need some improvement. I do think Maniac does a good job and is professional. And he taught me things like how I could base with green and build up the white antlers, or how the moss could be built with red and based with red and built up with green. And so it's new things for me to experiment and try. Anyways, I hope this helps you, your journey. I don't have anything else useful to say. Bye.